Today we're going to use Maya from Autodesk to create a spaceship. The first thing that you're going to want to do is set up Maya for your project. Begin by clicking the OK button on this dialog to clear that out. Then go to the File menu, go down here almost to the bottom, and choose Project Window. On the project window, I'm going to click New. I'm going to name my project Spaceship. Next, we'll have to decide where we want our project to be located. We'll do that by clicking the File folder right below that, next to Location. We're going to click on My Documents, and then we're going to click the New Folder button. And we're going to call our new folder Maya Projects. Click on your folder to select it, and then click Select. Now click Accept. Okay, so now we're ready to create our spaceship. Begin by choosing the cube polygon from the shelf at the top of the screen. This will make a simple cube centered in the middle of your screen. To make this cube bigger, to be the body of our spaceship, we're going to use the Scale tool. As I hover over each of these tools on the left-hand side of the screen, it will tell me what each tool does. The one I want is the Scale tool, so I'm going to click it. To rescale it, we're going to click on these handles and drag to change the size of our ship. We're not going to be super precise, but something that looks, well, a lot like that would work very well for us. Maya has a tendency to crash, so something that you may want to do is save often. So we're going to go to the File menu and choose Save Scene. And we're going to have to give it a name again. So let's just call it Spaceship. And now we're going to click Save As. You may have noticed that our spaceship is floating just below the ground, and so we might want to move it up a little bit. We're going to do that using the Move tool. So back again over on the left-hand side where the tools are, I'm going to choose this one that's a square with arrows pointing around it. Notice that my arms have changed to arrows. I'm going to click the green one and drag it upwards until my ship is sitting right on the ground. Something like that. If I want to look around the ship, I can use tumble mode. In order to do tumble mode, I'm going to press the Alt key, the ALT button. It's right next to the space bar on your keyboard. I'm going to press it and hold it, and then I'm going to click with the mouse and drag it. And see, I can turn it, and I can look at it from the bottom, I can look at it from the top, and just turn it however I want to do that. So now what we want to do is we want to add the engines to our ship. We're going to use something called Extrude. In order to do that, the first thing we're going to have to do is change mode. Currently we're in what we call object mode. To change the mode, I'm going to put my mouse over the polygon. I'm going to right click, and I'm going to choose faces mode. You see down here, there's all these different modes. We want to use the one called face. Now I can click on just one side of the polygon at a time. We're going to pick this side, and then we're going to go up to the toolbar at the top of the screen, and I'm going to find the button that is extrude. It's 4 squares. One of them is taller than the other squares. I'm going to click that one. And again, my handles have changed. I have arrows, but now they have like a block at the end of it. I'm going to click and I'm going to drag the arrow, and you'll see that it pulls out another part. Something like that. That looks pretty good. Now I'm going to press my Alt key and hold it down and drag so that I can see the other side. I'm still in extrude mode, so when I click on this face on the opposite side, I'm going to have to click extrude again. And then I'm going to click on the arrow, not the little cube, but the arrow, and drag it out and create another engine. And you can approximate it for our purposes today. I'm going to press the Alt key and I'm going to use tumble mode to kind of look at it from some different angles and see it looks pretty good. I want them to be about the same size. I'm still in faces mode, and I'm going to use the scale tool to resize it so that it looks, well, it looks different. I'm going to do that by clicking on the scale tool. And then, see, I can squeeze it down. And if I go into tumble mode, you can see better what we did there. See how it's kind of tapered off? I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And I want them to be about the same. That's looking pretty good. As I look at my model, I see that the left-hand side looks like it's a little wider than the right-hand side. So I want to fix that. I'm going to go into tumble mode so that I can see the side. I'm going to click on it. And I'm going to make sure I'm in move mode. I'm going to use the move tool. I'm going to drag this out just a little bit. And maybe go back into tumble mode. Oh, that looks good. I think I'm going to go with that. So now what I'm going to do is save my model. File, Save Scene. Okay, I think now we're ready to create some wings. The first thing I need to do is rotate the ship so I can see the left-hand side. So I'm going to do that by using tumble mode, by pressing the Alt key and clicking and dragging with my mouse until I see the side that I want. Now I'm going to click on the extrude key, extrude tool, and click on the face, and then I'm going to click on the extrude tool, and then I'm going to switch to scale. I'm going to make it smaller because our wing is going to be kind of thin. And now I'm going to press extrude again. And I'm going to grab this blue arrow and I'm going to drag it out and make my wing. And while I still have that face selected, I'm going to choose the move tool. And I'm going to grab this blue and I'm going to move this wing back a little bit. Looks pretty good, huh? So let's move over to the other side. Click on this face. Click Extrude. Click Scale. Make it skinny like the first one. Click Extrude again. Click the blue arrow. and drag it out. And now I'm going to switch to the Move tool, grab this yellow arrow, and I'm going to move it back. If I go into tumble mode, I should be able to tell, using the grid, how close I did. That looks good. So now what we're going to do is save that. File, Save Scene. Okay, I think we're ready to make the cockpit for the spaceship. So the first thing we're going to do is enter tumble mode by pressing the Alt key again and holding it down and dragging up so we can see the front of our ship. And now we're going to click on the front. Somehow I'm not in Faces mode, so I'm going to right click and choose Face. There we go. I'm going to click on that face. I'm going to click Extrude. I'm going to grab this blue arrow and I'm going to drag out. There we go. And while I still have that face selected, I'm going to go to Scale mode. And if I grab this one in the center here, I can drag it both directions. See that? And make it smaller. And I'm going to go ahead and click on Move. I'm going to move it down a little bit. This is kind of a bad angle to see what I'm doing there. So I make the cockpit move down a little bit. If it's a little too long, you can shorten it up if you want. Whatever looks good to you. Alright, now we're going to add some detail to the motors, to the engines. We're going to do that by clicking on this face here. And we're going to press the G key, which is going to put it into extrude mode. And now we're going to switch to the Scale tool. And again, if I grab the yellow one, I can drag it both directions. And this is very important. After you have scaled it down, press the G key again. And this time I'm going to click the blue arrow and I'm going to push it back. Do you see what's happening there? It's making kind of a tube. I'm going to enter tumble mode, pressing the Alt key and drag over so I can see the other side. I'm going to click on this face. I'm going to press the G key. And then I'm going to select Scale. And I'm going to make it smaller. Then I'm going to press the G key again. It's very important to do it a second time. And I'm going to push in. We're going to do the same technique on the back of the ship. So I'm going to look real quick and see if I like that. That looks pretty close. So I'm very happy with the way the front of the motors look. So now I'm going to press the Alt key and go into tumble mode and turn the ship around so I can see the back. And we're going to use the same technique on the back of the motors. We're going to click on the left face here. We're going to click G for extrude. Then we're going to click on Scale. We're going to make it a little bit smaller. Then we're going to press G again. It's very important that we get a second time. And we're going to grab this arrow. I'm going to have to do tumble mode so I can see my arrow better. And I'm going to push in, just like so. And now I'm going to go back into tumble mode so I can grab the other side over here. Click the face. Press G for extrude. Scale. And we want to make it look pretty much the same as the first one, the left one. And the most important part again is to press the G key a second time and then push in. So they're pretty similar. I'm going to go into tumble mode here and kind of just check that out. They're pretty even. Doesn't have to be perfect, but it gives you a nice inside, so it looks like, like the motor. Excellent. I think this is a good time to save, so I'm going to go up to the File menu, and I'm going to choose Save Scene. Okay, so we're going to create a main thruster. We're going to select this center face. We're going to choose the Extrude tool. We're going to switch to Scale. We're going to make it a little bit smaller, just like we did on the others. Then we're going to press the G key again. And now we're going to use the Move tool. And we're just going to grab this yellow arrow and we're going to move it in. Just kind of create a little main thruster there. And now we're going to save our file. Alright, so now let's add a dorsal fin, a wing on the top of our ship. I'm going to move using tumble mode. So we're going to select the top center face, and then we're going to choose Extrude. And then we're going to go to Scale mode, the Scale tool. And I'm going to just grab the yellow handle there, and I'm going to move it in. Make it about the same thickness as my wings. And then I'm going to press the G key to extrude again. And this time I'm going to use the Move tool, and I'm going to drag it up. So that it goes straight up. Let me use my tumble mode so I can take a look at it from a slightly different angle. It needs to kind of slope back. So let's go to the Move tool. I'm going to grab this blue arrow here. And I'm just going to slide it back just a little bit. And then I'm going to click on the top surface. And I'm going to do Extrude. And then I'm going to do Move. I'm going to move it up a little bit. And then I'm going to use the blue arrow, and I'm going to have a part that slopes back a little steeper at the top. Press the Alt key, go into tumble mode, and take a look at your ship from some different angles. This looks pretty good. If I want, I can mess around with some of the different surfaces and do an undo or whatever. But right now what I think I'm going to do is just save my file. Alright, we're going to try one more thing here. We're going to right click and choose Object Mode. So we're going to use that other mouse button we don't usually use. We're going to right click and choose Object Mode. Now we can select the entire spaceship. And I'm going to press and hold the space bar. I'm going to come over here to this word Mesh on the left hand side. I'm going to right click on it. And I'm going to hold it and drag down to Smooth. But I can't just select the word Smooth. I have to go over here to this little box that's behind the word Smooth. So choose the box. And it comes up with this dialog. And we're going to change the division levels to 3. And we're going to click Apply. And that's going to make it all curvy. And if you like the way that looks, you can go ahead and hit close. And if I just click off of it so that it's not selected, you don't see the wireframe anymore. And you press the Alt key and hold it, and you can take a look at your ship from different angles. I never did get it quite high enough. While we're in object mode, if we want, we can click the Move tool and move it up just a little bit. That looks pretty good. As you can see, you could try a whole bunch of different things. You could make the top fin here a little bit smaller. You could make it more angled. You could probably work around making kind of a window in the cockpit. Maybe some landing gear. Just have fun with it. Make sure you save your work. And I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial.